everyone, it's Shah here. I hope you're having an amazing day. I just want to make a short little video clip about weaning your child from the ages of 5 to 6 months. I'm a mother of a beautiful little 1-year-old. I just thought that when I was looking for this information, I struggled quite a lot, and now I've come up with a few tips of my own so that you guys wouldn't have to. I was very excited to start weaning my child. It was an exciting moment for me as a first-time mum. I've done loads of research. I actually started before my little one was actually born. We just got very excited, as every mother would. You say hello. I thought I'd do the research for you so you guys wouldn't have to. Just a few of my little tips that we came up with. Tip 1. Make sure your little one is actually ready to be weaned, yeah? There's no point if they're not actually wanting food. They'll show you different signs of when they actually are quite hungry and when they want your type of food. So for instance, they'll try to grab food off of your plate, or they'll follow your food whilst you're trying to eat, so your mouth will open, they'll be just ready for the food thinking that it's going towards them. It is recommended that you do start at 6 months. We personally started at 5, but this was due to the fact that my child was in a high percentile when she was quite young. When she was young, we went and asked our doctor for a second opinion. We didn't just go through with it, so please make sure before you do start. Also, try not to leave it too late. The actual point of starting is 6 months. Things that your children might do to try to show you that they actually are quite ready for food is they'll try to take food off of your plate. They'll also try to follow your food when you're trying to eat. So if you were sitting on the table and you spoon fooding your obviously yourself, then she would probably open up their mouth wide as well. And one of the signs could be just that no matter the amount of milk that you give them, it's just never enough. So you could be continuously feeding every half an hour or so, and they'll still show you that their milk is not filling them up. You also have to make sure that your child is actually able to support themselves, so they have to have good head support. So they have to be able to sit inside their high chair without you having to hold them. Especially when you're trying to wean, you do not want them to be choking on their food. They'll start choking, especially if they can't sit up. Tip number 2. So my second tip would be, where do you start off and what do you actually feed them? So you can start off with foods such as bananas, pears, mangoes, apples, different types of veg like broccoli, carrots, sweet potato, normal potatoes. These are all good places to start. We personally started with bananas because it was easy, because all you got to do is just mash it up and it's easily just put into a bowl and fed straight. You can also just try to put some breast milk in or some formula in so that it's more liquefied for your child, as it's obviously something new. They've never tried anything that's got a different texture. So it would be more probably preferable for your child to be able to do that as well. Foods such as potatoes, sweet potatoes are quite thick and starchy, so please try to liquefy them down more. You've also got baby stock that you can purchase from most supermarkets now. I know different companies do different types. You can actually get gravy that's got low salt. We personally went for the low salt baby stock. We just found it easier and it was actually closer by to us to just go grab that. Tip number 3, how often? So how often are you supposed to feed your 6-month or 5-month-old? So when you're starting off, we initially read up and researched that you're supposed to do every food for a whole week. So there'll be a week of banana, a week of carrots. We personally thought giving our child a week's worth of the same food would leave her constipated. And as we did try it for a week, it did. A 3-day rule on a 1 sitting. So basically she would have, for lunch, she would basically have bananas, and then bananas again for the next day, and bananas again for the day after. And this would go on so forth with different types of food. So it'd be 3 days of carrots, it'd be 3 days of bananas, 3 days of baby porridge, and we'd carry on like that. So on week 2, what we did was basically introduce breakfast, mostly sweet foods for breakfast. Yes, monkey. And then it would be lunch and dinner, which would be more savoury foods. So 3 weeks later, we introduced dinner, where we once again gave her savoury foods. So it would be broccoli for 3 days, and then it would be another food, so like carrots for another 3 days. And we continuously just went from breakfast, lunch and dinner, and we kept doing that. We also made sure that we were eating breakfast, lunch and dinner all together, so we were eating it as a family, so she could actually imitate what we were doing, and she's now able to actually spoon feed herself. Tip 4, when should you actually feed your child? So for us, we actually chose to do lunchtime. It was just more easy and convenient. I was home and not having to be in work, so feeding her was easier at that time. We started off at lunchtime, so about 11:30, 12ish. So this would mean that she would have her morning milk, and then she would wait up until she got to afternoon, so we would give her milk again. And then we'd give her a little bit of food mixed with her milk, so it'd be a little bit less of milk. So then she could get used to the fact that she had to be eating food for lunch. Tip number 5, how much should you actually feed your child? So what we did was we actually batch food made everything. So these would last up to 3 months. So we would basically heat up our food, so carrots for instance for her, mash it all up and then freeze it into ice cubes. Then afterwards, when we actually got used to how much she can actually just about manage, we used to give her 2 cubes worth of food. If she didn't finish it, it didn't matter. If she did finish it, we wouldn't give her extra. Please remember that actually giving food before the age of 1 is more for fun. They are just experiencing food, so don't worry if they're not interested. Tip number 6, my 6th tip would be to make sure that you're actually enjoying it. It is just fun for them. Yes, they'll throw food around, they'll be all over your floor, even on your cupboards, like we've actually experienced quite a lot. You've just got to go with the flow. She or he will enjoy the food eventually. They will let go of the milk. You just got to teach them slowly and gradually. It will get there soon enough. Just try to sing to them, to try to encourage them. Try to say ah, like my little girl, when you say ah, she will say it too, and she'll get ready to put food in her mouth. She gets very excited when we actually dance around with our fingers and play about so that we can encourage her to actually start eating. Make sure if they're actually trying out foods that you don't like yourself, that you're not giving it a face like, oh gosh, why is she eating that? Personally, I never liked sweet potato when she was born. It was something that I just detested. So every time that sweet potato was going into her mouth, I was like, but I made sure that I kept a straight face and I was smiling and I was giggling with her, and she now favours sweet potato over every veg that she could possibly have. So those are my tips, and I hope that they all actually help you out. I actually started to find recipes and etc. that I couldn't find myself. It was quite a struggle, so I started making up my own sort of types of foods that I thought that she would enjoy. My foods have so far been a hit with my child, so I thought I'd share these with you. I've got an Instagram page that I share recipes with. Hello. So you're more than welcome to join us. Say hello. So please do follow. I'll link my Instagram down below. It'll be lovely to see you there. And thank you very much for watching. I was actually born. Hello, monkey. Hello.
Hello, puppy. Calling. Do you want to play with me? Let's play Puppy Says. Puppy says, clap your hands.
Yeah. Yeah. No way. Thank you for watching.